In the midst of a rapidly changing world, where materialism often overshadows the pursuit of deeper truths, one phenomenon stands out, capturing the hearts of millions in the West: the unprecedented rise of Christianity. It's not just a fleeting trend, it's a profound shift, a resurgence of faith that speaks to the very core of our human experience. Christianity, once seen by some as a relic of the past, is now the fastest growing religion in the West, and it's not by accident. People are yearning for meaning, for connection, and for a sense of purpose that transcends the everyday struggles of life. As the noise of secularism grows louder, many are turning to the quiet, unshakable truth of Christian teachings. It's a powerful reminder that in a world overwhelmed with uncertainty, faith becomes not just a refuge, but a beacon, guiding those in search of hope, peace, and a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. The journey towards embracing Christianity in the West is not just about religion, it's about the transformation of lives, families, and communities. In times of crisis, when people face their darkest moments, they are finding light in the teachings of Christ. And in this exploration, they are discovering a strength and resilience that only faith can provide. This is the story of a movement, a revolution, where the power of belief is creating change not only in individuals, but in the very fabric of society itself. Let's explore why this movement is more than just a trend. It's a profound, spiritual transformation that is reshaping the future of the West. In the 21st century, we are witnessing a remarkable phenomenon, an awakening of faith, particularly Christianity, which is reshaping the cultural, social, and spiritual fabric of the Western world. This transformation is not merely a shift in religious affiliation, it is the dawn of a new era of spirituality, a collective search for meaning, hope, and connection amidst the chaos of modern life. We live in a time when many have grown weary of the empty promises of materialism and individualism. The pursuit of wealth, status, and power has left many souls feeling hollow, adrift in a sea of uncertainty. The constant bombardment of information, distractions, and the pressure to conform to societal norms has left little room for reflection on the deeper questions of life, questions that touch on our very existence, our purpose, and our place in the universe. Amidst this noise, people are beginning to ask, what truly matters? In the midst of this spiritual void, Christianity is not only surviving but thriving, experiencing an unprecedented resurgence across the West. The question is not simply why Christianity is growing, but rather how it is breathing new life into the hearts of millions. How is it that, in an era that is so often defined by skepticism and doubt, the teachings of Christ are finding fertile ground in the minds and souls of individuals who are seeking something more than what the world can offer? The answer lies in the timeless relevance of Christianity's core message: love, redemption, hope, and grace. At its heart, Christianity offers a vision of life that is both deeply personal and universally applicable. It speaks to the innate longing for connection, for purpose, and for a higher power that transcends the fleeting and often hollow pursuits of earthly existence. In a world that often feels divided, fragmented, and uncertain, Christianity brings a message of unity, belonging, and peace. It is in this message of reconciliation and redemption that the West is finding its spiritual awakening. People are turning to Christianity not simply because of tradition or cultural heritage, but because they recognize that it offers something enduring in a world that seems increasingly transient and unstable. The message of Christ, with its radical call to love one's neighbor, to forgive, and to seek justice and compassion, resonates deeply with those who are disillusioned with the prevailing ideologies that often prioritize self-interest over community and the common good. What makes Christianity so compelling in this age of transformation is its ability to transcend the divisions that often plague society. It is not bound by politics, national identity, or social class. Christianity unites people across races, cultures, and backgrounds, offering a vision of a world where all are equal in the eyes of God. In the West, where political and social divides seem to grow wider each day, Christianity offers a counter-narrative, a call to unity, understanding, and shared purpose. It reminds us that, despite our differences, we are all part of the same human family. But this awakening is not confined to just individual hearts. It is manifesting in communities, in movements, and in institutions. Churches, once seen by many as relics of a bygone era, are becoming vibrant centers of support, inspiration, and transformation. People are gathering not only for religious services, but for fellowship, education, and social justice initiatives. The church is becoming a place where individuals can not only deepen their faith, but also engage with the world in meaningful ways, serving others, healing wounds, and addressing the pressing issues of our time. One of the most striking aspects of this Christian awakening in the West is its ability to adapt to the modern world without losing its essence. Churches are embracing technology, social media, and contemporary culture to spread the message of Christ to new generations. The language of faith is being translated into the digital age, reaching people where they are, on their phones, computers, and social media platforms. This digital revolution is allowing Christianity to break down the barriers of geography, language, and accessibility, making the message of Christ available to more people than ever before. Yet, despite these modern advances, the core teachings of Christianity remain as relevant today as they were 2,000 years ago. The principles of love, humility, service, and selflessness continue to resonate with people who are seeking a path that leads beyond the temporary distractions of the world. It is this timeless wisdom that gives Christianity its enduring power, providing a stable anchor in a world that is often tossed by the winds of change. As we look to the future, it is clear that the growth of Christianity in the West is not simply a passing trend, but rather a deep and lasting transformation. Christianity is awakening hearts and minds, calling individuals to a higher vision of life, a life that is rooted in faith, hope, and love. This awakening is not about numbers or institutional growth. It is about the transformation of lives, the healing of souls, and the creation of a new kind of community, one that transcends the divisions that so often tear us apart. In this awakening, we find the strength to face the challenges of our time, the courage to stand for justice and righteousness, and the compassion to care for the least among us. We find a hope that is not dependent on the circumstances of life, but on the unchanging promises of God. Christianity is awakening in the West, not as a reactionary force, but as a transformative power that is renewing hearts, minds, and societies. It is a reminder that no matter how dark the world may seem, there is always light, and that light is found in the love of Christ. In this awakening, we are reminded that our journey is not a solitary one. We are all part of a larger story, one that began long ago but continues to unfold in our lives today. As more and more people in the West embrace Christianity, they are not simply joining a religion. They are becoming part of a global movement of faith, love, and redemption. It is a movement that is changing the world, one heart at a time, and it is a movement that has only just begun. In a world increasingly defined by skepticism and uncertainty, where belief systems are often questioned and traditions dismissed, there is a remarkable shift taking place, a spiritual revolution quietly unfolding across the West. This revolution is not one marked by political upheaval or societal rebellion, but by a profound change within the hearts and minds of individuals. It is a journey from doubt to devotion, a personal and collective awakening that is reshaping lives, communities, and the very culture in which we live. For generations, the West has been a beacon of secularism, where reason and logic often held sway over matters of faith. Intellectualism and scientific advancements have brought immense progress, but they have also raised questions about the very existence of a higher power, leaving many to doubt or even dismiss religion as irrelevant in the modern world. This doubt, this questioning, has been the dominant narrative for decades. Yet, in the midst of this intellectual dominance, a different kind of revolution is stirring, one that transcends reason and logic and speaks directly to the human soul. This revolution is not born from the rejection of reason, but from the recognition that reason alone cannot answer the deepest questions of human existence. What is the purpose of life? What happens when we die? Why is there suffering? These questions, long neglected by the secular culture, are finding answers in a profound spiritual awakening. Return to devotion that is sweeping across the West. People are no longer content with the hollow promises of materialism, nor are they satisfied with the transient comforts of a world that often feels disconnected and fragmented. The relentless pursuit of individual success, wealth, and status has left many feeling isolated, disconnected, and spiritually empty. The more we achieve, the more we question. What is the true meaning of all of this? What is the purpose behind our work, our struggles, and our triumphs? In this search for meaning, many are turning away from secularism and embracing a path of faith, a path that leads them from doubt to devotion. The shift from doubt to devotion is not just about religion. It is about the rediscovery of something ancient and eternal, a deep, abiding sense of connection to something greater than oneself. This spiritual revolution is a return to the roots of our humanity, where love, grace, and redemption are not just lofty ideals, but real, transformative forces in our lives. It is a journey that leads people not only back to the teachings of Christ, but to a deeper understanding of their own identity, purpose, and place in the world. What makes this revolution so powerful is that it is not limited to any one group or demographic. It is not confined to the traditional churchgoers, nor is it a movement driven by political agendas or social pressures. This revolution is personal. It is happening in the hearts of people from all walks of life, people who are tired of the emptiness that comes with secularism and who are seeking something more meaningful and lasting. It is a movement that transcends age, race, and social class, uniting people in a shared journey of faith and spiritual discovery. The shift from doubt to devotion is also being fueled by the recognition that true fulfillment cannot be found in the external world. Material success and societal recognition, though important, cannot offer the deep, lasting satisfaction that comes from spiritual peace. People are beginning to realize that real joy, true peace, and a sense of purpose can only be found when we reconnect with our spiritual roots. This realization is leading many to embrace Christianity, not as a cultural artifact or as a set of rules to follow, but as a living, breathing path to inner transformation. In this spiritual revolution, Christianity stands as a beacon of hope, offering answers to the deepest questions of the human heart. The teachings of Christ are not seen as outdated or irrelevant, but as timeless wisdom that speaks directly to the challenges and struggles of modern life. Christ's message of love, forgiveness, and redemption is resonating with people who are tired of the harsh realities of a broken world and who long for healing, peace, and reconciliation. This spiritual revolution is not just about the revival of old religious practices. It is about a deeper, more profound relationship with the divine. It is about encountering God in a personal, intimate way, not just as an abstract concept, but as a living presence that transforms lives. It is about moving from doubt to devotion, from intellectual skepticism to experiential faith. This journey is deeply personal, yet it is also collective. It is not just about individual salvation, but about the transformation of communities, families, and societies. When one person experiences the power of faith, that transformation ripples out, touching everyone around them. The spiritual revolution taking place across the West is also being driven by the realization that, in a world that is increasingly divided, faith has the power to unite. Christianity, with its universal message of love and grace, is a force for reconciliation, bringing together people from different backgrounds, cultures, and ideologies. It speaks to the innate desire in every human being to belong, to be loved, and to make a difference in the world. In a time when so many are consumed by fear, hatred, and division, Christianity offers a counter-narrative, one that calls us to love our neighbors, to forgive our enemies, and to seek peace and justice in the world. This spiritual revolution is also happening in the most unlikely of places. It is not just confined to churches or religious institutions, but is spreading across society, finding expression in art, music, literature, and even social media. The language of faith is being reimagined and made relevant to the modern world, reaching new generations in ways that were once unimaginable. Young people, in particular, are rediscovering the beauty and power of Christianity, not as a set of rules to follow, but as a transformative way of life that speaks to the deepest longings of their hearts. As more and more people in the West experience this journey from doubt to devotion, they are finding a new sense of purpose, direction, and peace. The spiritual revolution that is unfolding is not a temporary trend, but a profound, lasting transformation that is shaping the future of the West. It is a revolution that is not driven by politics or social movements, but by the quiet, powerful work of the Holy Spirit, transforming lives, healing wounds, and bringing hope to a world that so desperately needs it. In this revolution, people are discovering that the greatest gift they can give to themselves and to the world is a heart that is open to faith, love, and grace. The journey from doubt to devotion is not always easy, but it is a journey worth taking. It is a journey that leads to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and peace, a life that is anchored in the eternal truths of Christianity, and a life that has the power to transform not only the individual, but the world itself. In a world increasingly defined by uncertainty, fear, and doubt, there is a powerful force that stands in direct contrast to the prevailing tides of skepticism and materialism. This force is faith, specifically the unwavering belief in a higher power, a purpose beyond the immediate, and a truth that transcends the chaos of the world. Christianity, with its message of hope, redemption, and grace, is rising in the secular West, and it is doing so not in spite of the challenges of our time, but because of them. The rise of Christianity in a secular world is not just a religious revival, it is a powerful testament to the enduring strength of faith over fear. In today's society, fear is a pervasive force. Fear of the future, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, and fear of disconnection all weigh heavily on individuals. These fears are amplified by the fast pace of modern life, where everything seems uncertain, and the ground beneath us is constantly shifting. We see political instability, economic upheaval, and social fragmentation, and all of these factors contribute to a growing sense of insecurity. Yet, in the face of this pervasive fear, Christianity offers a different kind of strength, a strength that comes from trust in God, from believing that there is a greater purpose to life, and from knowing that no matter how turbulent the world becomes, there is always a source of hope that is unshakable. This contrast between fear and faith is particularly evident in the secular West, where the dominant cultural narrative has long been shaped by reason, science, and individualism. In such a society, faith is often seen as antiquated, irrelevant, or even unnecessary. Secularism, with its emphasis on self-sufficiency and autonomy, often tells individuals that they must rely solely on their own abilities to navigate the challenges of life. It promotes the idea that reason and logic are the only tools we need to understand the world and our place within it. But in the face of suffering, uncertainty, and existential questioning, this secular world, you often falls short. It provides no answers to the deeper questions of life, questions that touch on the human soul and the need for meaning, purpose, and connection. Christianity, however, provides an alternative, a path that begins not with human effort, but with divine grace. It offers an answer to the fear that permeates our world, that we are not alone, that we are loved, and that there is a purpose to our lives that transcends our immediate circumstances. Faith in Christ provides the security that the world cannot offer. It tells us that no matter how stormy the seas may get, there is a steady anchor that holds us firm, a truth that remains constant even when everything else seems to be shifting. This message of faith over fear is not just theoretical. It is lived out in the everyday lives of millions of Christians across the West. In a society that increasingly prioritizes individual achievement and self-reliance, Christianity offers a message of surrender, of letting go of control and trusting in God's plan. This surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is the strength to admit that we cannot control everything, that we are not the ultimate architects of our destinies, and that we need the grace and guidance of a higher power to navigate the complexities of life. In this sense, Christianity provides a profound antidote to the fear that so often arises from living in a secular world. The fear of being alone, of not measuring up, of falling short, is replaced by the knowledge that we are part of something far greater than ourselves. We are not just isolated individuals trying to make our way through the world. We are children of God, beloved and cared for, called to love others and to serve a higher purpose. This perspective shifts everything. It transforms our fears into faith, our doubts into trust, and our anxieties into peace. Moreover, Christianity offers a sense of hope that is grounded in something eternal, something beyond the transient and often fleeting nature of worldly success. In a culture that measures worth by material possessions, achievements, and status, the Christian message tells us that true fulfillment does not come from these things. It comes from living according to God's will, from serving others, and from embodying the values of love, compassion, and humility. In a world that often feels like it is in a state of perpetual crisis, Christianity provides a vision of lasting peace and hope, a peace that is not dependent on external circumstances, but on an internal assurance that God is in control. This message of faith over fear is resonating with more and more people in the West. As secularism grows, so too does the hunger for something deeper. People are increasingly seeking a source of meaning and stability that goes beyond the fleeting comforts of consumerism and materialism. Christianity, with its message of unconditional love and forgiveness, is providing that source. It offers a vision of life that is not driven by fear of the unknown, but by faith in the one who holds the future in his hands. The rise of Christianity in the secular West is not just a return to traditional religious practices. It is a movement of spiritual renewal that is touching the lives of individuals across the world. This renewal is not about a rejection of reason or intellect. It is about a recognition that there are things in life that go beyond human understanding, things that can only be apprehended through faith. It is a recognition that the answers to life's most profound questions cannot be found in textbooks or scientific formulas, but in the person of Jesus Christ, who offers peace to the troubled heart and light to those who walk in darkness. As more people in the West embrace Christianity, they are finding a new strength to face the fears and challenges of life. They are discovering that faith is not a crutch, but a source of enduring power. It is a power that enables them to stand firm in the face of adversity, to love without condition, and to hope without limit. Christianity is rising in the secular world not because it offers easy answers, but because it offers real, transformative hope, a hope that is stronger than fear, deeper than doubt, and more lasting than anything the world can provide. In the end, the rise of Christianity in a secular world is a testament to the enduring power of faith over fear. It is a reminder that, no matter how uncertain the world may seem, there is always a source of hope that cannot be shaken. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the courage to face it with the knowledge that, in Christ, we are never alone, and that His love will always be greater than our fears. As we witness the rise of Christianity in the secular West, we are reminded that faith is not a relic of the past, but a vibrant, transformative force for today. In a world where fear, doubt, and uncertainty often dominate, Christianity offers a pathway of peace, purpose, and unshakable hope. It calls us to move beyond the fleeting comforts of materialism and self-reliance, inviting us into a deeper, more meaningful relationship with a loving and faithful God. This spiritual awakening is not just about religious observance, but about a profound shift in perspective, one that shifts the focus from fear of the unknown to faith in God's eternal promises. Christianity teaches us that, even in times of turmoil, we are not alone. We are held by a love that surpasses understanding, grounded in the teachings of Christ, who offers us forgiveness, redemption, and grace. In embracing faith, we are not escaping reality, but facing it with strength and courage. We are stepping into a future filled with hope, knowing that whatever comes our way, God's presence will always guide and sustain us. The spiritual revolution we are witnessing is not merely a revival of belief. It is a movement that is changing lives, healing hearts, and transforming the world one soul at a time.